from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 9 on Fargo CW.
You know, it's kind of ironic that people are scared of felons, but the guys that are in my house are really scared of what the community is going to do to them.
New details tonight about a group of sober homes in Fargo and what they have to do to continue their work. With mixed messages coming from the city of Fargo, the founder of the F5 project says he wants to do everything by the book so those struggling with addiction can get the help they need. Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker has the latest on this story.
We're in a city right now where there's not a lot of infrastructure of resources available to people who are transitioning out of prisons and jails that are drug addicts.
F5 project founder Adam Martin is stuck between...
They have to stop whatever they're doing right now, because right now they are not following our rules.
And
our upcoming application deadline is actually this coming Monday, August 21st. And so it's our understanding that their intent is to apply for a number of conditional use permit applications for their individual units.
There seems to be a slight disconnect between the commissioner and the Department of Planning and Development in regards to the codes for housing. 3 unrelated people living in a single-family home is fine. That's what Martin says they've done, but admits it's hard turning people away.
Why we've ramped up so many houses is so that we can, at one point, you know, follow the ordinances, and then at one point try to be of service to the people that are coming to us, and sometimes those things don't match.
Martin says they plan on applying for what's called conditional use permits to house more people in single-family homes. City planner Aaron Nelson says that process won't happen instantly.
There's a public notification process that is required as part of this, and so property or letters would be sent out to any property owner that owns property within 300 feet of that home.
There'll also be a time for public comment, and before anyone makes up their minds about the people Martin's trying to help, he wants them to think about this.
When we think of hardened criminal, we stereotype it into a certain idea of what we think that criminal is, and we forget about what grace and tolerance and people who are trying to change their lives. We believe in second chances, but sometimes we want those second chances to happen in someone else's backyard.
Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
Now, if F5 doesn't apply for the conditional use permits by August 21st, the city planner says that's when code enforcement will come into play, and that would involve the inspections and police. F5's struggles with the city was overshadowed by a weekend death at one of the sober houses. 24-year-old Michael Peterson was a Fargo South graduate. Police suspect that Peterson died of an overdose. An autopsy will be performed to get an official cause of death. Adam Martin says this death highlights the major problem we have with addiction in this community. Coming up after weather, 2 men are facing charges after police say they pulled a gun on a man in South Moorhead. What police say started the incident. Plus, you've been hearing a lot about the upcoming eclipse, why it's such a big deal.
And clouds are right now, and those clouds will start producing some rain in the Fargo-Moorhead area before the night is over. Live look outside on the CorwinAuto.com Valley Skycam, part of the Storm Team Skycam network. Some cloudy skies here, and we are seeing some rain over parts of the area. Devils Lake Basin still seeing lots of shower activity there. And before all is said and done, most of the area will see at least some rain. 69 degrees right now, winds out of the east and southeast at 6 miles per hour. Temperatures elsewhere, we're pretty much all in the 60s until you get into far northern Minnesota. That's where we saw the warmest temperatures today. High temperatures near 80 up in Roseau and Bennett. We've cooled back down into the lower 70s. Winds have cooled back down as well. Not quite as breezy as we saw earlier today, but still a bit of a breeze out there, and that'll continue tonight around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Cloud cover, lots of it out there, and the brightest clouds off to our west and northwest, and underneath those clouds, we do have some showers out there and some briefly moderate rain at times making its way off towards the northeast, Southern Valley. Most of the rain that we saw earlier falling apart, but more rain showers, even some thunderstorms developing. This area moving off towards the east and the northeast. This will graze our southern counties. And off towards the north, we've seen some steadier rain for quite some time. It's falling apart just a touch, but still some pockets of some moderate, maybe even briefly heavy rain as it continues to slide off towards the northeast during the overnight hours. Across the northern plains, as you get off towards the south, there are those thunderstorms. Some of those storms are severe as you get down into southern South Dakota. More severe weather even further south. Severe thunderstorm watch continues for parts of Nebraska. A confirmed tornado earlier, not too far from I-80 near Sidney, Nebraska earlier this evening. More showers and storms across Oklahoma and the Big Bend of Texas. For us, as we head through tonight, we've got the rain out there. That'll continue to make its way off towards the northeast and slowly fall apart as it does so. Then another system will approach the area as we head through the day tomorrow. That'll start affecting the southern counties in the morning, and then as we head through the afternoon hours, we'll see that chance for some rain showers, maybe even some rumbles of thunder, and that'll continue to slide off towards the northeast. And as we go through time, clouds slowly decreasing from west to east, rain decreasing from west to east. Best chance for seeing an inch or more of rain where we're seeing the rain right now in the Devil's Lake Basin, northeastern North Dakota, and then tomorrow our southeastern counties could see over an inch of rain. In between, anywhere from about 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. Here in Fargo, we'll likely see some showers to start off your day around 60 degrees, only warming up into the upper 60s by lunchtime with rain showers continuing off and on, and then the rain finally starts to wrap up later in the day with a high in the low 70s. Picture of the day, a storm approaching Verona. Thanks to Debbie for sending that in. Going to use that as the backdrop to our 7-day forecast. It looks like a rainy time of it. Off and on anyway, maybe a few rumbles of thunder on Wednesday, warmer and quiet on Thursday, late day storms Friday, quiet Saturday, more storms Sunday and early Monday. And right now, it looks like, at least for much of the area, we should being the key word, get those clouds out of here in time to view the eclipse. But we'll continue to fine-tune that forecast as we approach Monday.
Well, you're pretty much in charge, so I'm
Okay.
confident it'll happen.
There you go. I like that.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
2 men are facing second-degree assault charges after police say they were involved in an incident where a gun was pulled in South Moorhead. 22-year-old Eddie Darden of Duluth, Minnesota, and 22-year-old Kyler Klepp of Mayville, North Dakota, were arrested after police stopped their car near the 1100 block of 34th Street South in Moorhead. A search of the car turned up 2 guns. Police were first called out this afternoon after someone reported that the 2 men showed up at a Moorhead construction site and flashed a gun. Investigators say they believe that incident was a result of a texting argument over a woman that one of the men arrested and a third male had a familiarity with them. Police tracked down Darden and Klepp near the Casey's gas station on 34th Street South. A state investigation has uncovered that a patient at the Douglas Place Treatment Center in East Grand Forks was abused by an employee. The staff member, who has not been named, no longer works at that facility. The report indicated that the employee also tried to get in contact with the client outside of the facility. The patient, who was not identified, told supervisors the sexual contact was consensual and declined to file a police report. It's the second time an incident has been documented at that treatment center since 2014. Former Douglas Place director Bruce Biddlecombe pleaded guilty to sexual abuse of a vulnerable adult and was sentenced to 5 months in jail after admitting to engaging in sexual acts with a patient. A Montana man who escaped from prison is on the Environmental Protection Agency's watch list after allegedly dumping radioactive waste in several places around North Dakota. James Kenneth Ward was indicted on the charges in April, but authorities haven't seen him since he escaped while being transferred to a Wyoming facility during March of 2013. Authorities say he is considered violent and dangerous. If you have any information about him or who he is, you should contact the EPA Montana area office. The phone number is on your screen, 406-670-0992. Some suspicious calls in the Red River Valley. A whistleblower alerted us to calls that claim they're from a law firm in South Carolina. They say a woman had won $500,000. She says they never asked for more personal information other than a birth date, but never followed through on all of the promises of paying either.
I'd hate to see it happen to somebody older than I am that is maybe less capable of checking things out.
No one from the South Carolina number returned our phone calls. Now keep in mind there are some guidelines from the Federal Trade Commission. The law says legal telemarketers must tell you if it's a sales call and who the name of the seller is. Fast talkers will often pressure to make decisions quick. Take your time and ask for things in writing. It's only legal for sales calls to be made between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. and never give out personal information out on the phone. Now, if you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, here's some advice. Call our whistleblower hotline, 701-237-6576, and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. President Trump is coming under fire from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle for his latest remarks on the events in Charlottesville, Virginia. During a surprise news conference, the president placed blame on both sides involved in the chaos. Brooke Silva Brega has the latest from outside Trump Tower in New York.
Blame, yes. I think there's blame on both sides.
A combative President Trump returned to his original assessment of the race-fueled clashes in Charlottesville, Virginia Tuesday, saying the blame should be shared.
You had a group on one side that was bad, and you had a group on the other side that was also very violent. And nobody wants to say that, but I'll say it right now.
The statement won praise from former KKK leader David Duke, but lawmakers, even Republicans, expressed outrage. Senator Marco Rubio tweeted, "You can't allow white supremacists to share only part of blame." Senator John McCain wrote, "There's no moral equivalency between racists and Americans standing up to defy hate and bigotry. The President of the United States should say so."
Racism, bigotry, anti-Semitism of any form is unacceptable.
The president was also asked if Chief Strategist Steve Bannon, who's been linked to the alt-right, will remain in his administration. The president declined to say if Bannon would keep his job, but did defend his character.
We'll see what happens with Mr. Bannon, but he's a good person, and I think the press treats him, frankly, very unfairly.
Trump also questioned if tearing down Confederate statues would lead to calls to remove monuments to slave-owning founding fathers.
I wonder, is it George Washington next week, and is it Thomas Jefferson the week after? You know, you really do have to ask yourself, where does it stop?
Several executives have recently resigned in protest from the president's manufacturing council. Mr. Trump said they can easily be replaced. Brooke Silva Braga for CBS News, New York.
Democratic Senator Sen Schatz of Hawaii also tweeted in part, "Words cannot express my disgust and disappointment. This is not my president." The president did denounce the alleged driver of the car who plowed into counter-protesters on Saturday, calling him a murderer. A former North Dakota lawmaker from Fargo was in Charlottesville for a wedding as violence broke out at a white supremacist rally on Saturday. Kathy Hawkins says it was a frightening experience.
I worked in integration in Albany, Georgia, the first year of integration in 1971, and saw the signs on the walls that said colored and white. And we worked hard to get past that. I've worked for years for women's rights, for equality for women. And yet, when I look back on my now 70 years, it doesn't seem like a lot has changed. And that's scary.
Hawkins says that she hopes people will stand up against hate and have civil discussions. The Fargo School Board is making a take-it-or-leave-it offer to the district's teachers union. The board approving a one-year contract offer this morning, including a $500 pay raise. Negotiations have been going on for weeks, but the talks stalled over disagreements about pay and classroom safety. Teachers are not allowed to strike in North Dakota, so they have 2 weeks to sign the deal or be out of a job. School board officials say teachers can petition to reopen negotiations for next year's contracts around Thanksgiving. A local elementary school held an open house to give families a sneak peek ahead of the first day of class and give soon-to-be students a sweet deal. Families at Bennett Elementary in South Fargo got to tour the building, see the classrooms, and get to meet the teachers and staff that will be helping them during the school year. And for the little ones, there were plenty of popsicles. Staff at Bennett say putting on these events are a way to help ease the nerves connected with this time of year.
You know, sometimes first-time schoolgoers are anxious, and so are their parents, and so this is an opportunity for everybody just to mingle and maybe make a new friend.
Bennett Elementary's first day is back to school is August 24th. Pantone Color Institute, that's the company that standardizes color, has announced a new shade in honor of late musician Prince. The color, which is called Love Symbol No. 2, was inspired by the shade of Prince's custom-made purple piano. He was supposed to tour with the unique instrument before his death in 2016. Prince has widely been known for his use of the color purple, especially since the release of the film Purple Rain. A representative for Pantone said in a statement, the color, Love Symbol No. 2, enables Prince's iconic status to live on. Prince's estate is looking to collaborate with various partners on products that will use the new Pantone color.